obviously you need to build your track record. That's obvious. But you also have to show your track record. Don't assume people can infer it from what you've said. So just to give a concrete example, when I put in for a laureate application the first time, when I was actually unsuccessful, one of the things I was shocked to see as one of the comments was, you haven't shown that you've an effective mentor. I've always prided myself on being a good mentor, so this was quite a shocking comment to me. The same reviewer also said, and by the way, you don't have enough first author publications. And my opinion was that as you get more advanced in your career, you shouldn't really have that many first author publications. Most of them should be with your PhD and your postdocs. And that is actually exactly true for my career. But I had not made that obvious, okay? So in the next round of application, then I bolded or starred or something every student. So in my CV, if it was, I don't know, if it was Lou, Parker and Strauss or something, I'd say, well, bold, Lou is a PhD student, and bold, star, Strauss is a postdoc. So I made it absolutely explicit that I was doing what I thought was appropriate. And then I also made that argument actually in the thing that I think that is what that's what we should be doing at this point in our career. And after all, a laureate is about legacy and mentoring. But that was interesting to me because I just took it for granted that it was obvious from my CV that this was true. But what reviewer really has time to actually piece those things together? So you have to make things explicit. I also think it's very important to benchmark your track record. So what I mean by that is you might assert that you're in the top 10% in your field or something like that. You've got to back it up, and you've got to back it up with discipline-specific statistics, because you have to remember that quite a lot of the time people who are reviewing your application are not in your field. They might be in a slightly distinct discipline. And of course, if it gets to the point that it's discussed by the panel, those people almost certainly won't be in your field. So if you're saying that you are, the best early career researcher or something in the department, you need to provide the actual statistics. And I think what's important is that in our fields, for example, if you're publishing a couple of top tier articles every year, you're doing really, really well. Now in science, that would be a failure of epic proportions, right? So you need to provide that benchmarking information so that if people see that you're doing that puts you in the very high category. So I find that sometimes people assume other people have the same benchmarks that they do, but different disciplines have different benchmarks. So I would always encourage you to try to benchmark that, especially for things like doctorates and stuff, which are incredibly competitive. Of course, often you're a team, and so therefore you're conveying the team track record, and that's partly about the balance of the capabilities in the team and articulating this person is on it because they're going to do this, and this person is strong in this, and that's why they're there. But it's really important to show you're a real team too, because often reviewers are on the lookout for, they've just cobbled together this team just so it looks good. So ideally you would have collaborated together, or you would have had some, at the very least, prepared a discussion document together or something. So try to look at how can you convey you were a real team. You've been working and thinking together.